From a princess to a queen she's grown, learning to fly with each wing she's shown. First crochet, then knit, now sewing she goes. Spinning and dyeing, what's next, who knows? She walks her path with courage bright, from morning sun to stars at night. No task too small, no dream too high. She'll soar above, reach the sky. From thread to thread, her story weaves a journey of strength, best believe. From spinning wheels to stitching seams, she crafts her world, living her dreams. Each new skill, a chapter turned, with every challenge, lessons learned. In skeins of yarn, her spirit threads, creating life with needle and thread. She moves with grace through tangled lines, with heart so pure and mind that shines. No fear of what's yet to be sown, a future bright and love she's known. From humble start she's climbed so far, her inner glow now like a star. With every stitch a vision clear, around she's built without fear. Oh,
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hello, Miss Mel. Lovely to see you as always, sweetheart. Let's see, we have Miss Angela's in the room, and Kimberly, and Linda, and Sally, and Deborah, and Mary, and Miss Terry. Welcome in, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. I will sit down and formally join you in just a moment. My tea is getting hot.
Tea! I can't drink hot things when I'm hot, you know?
I've got to have my tea. Miss Lisa and Liz is in the house. Welcome in, ladies. And Kimberly,
Hello.
welcome in.
Hi, Dragon Cat.
What are you knitting on, Miss Mel?
Well, I'm crocheting, but I'm working.
You have knitting needles going.
Nope, I'm working on a bod wrap.
Okay.
It's the must-have rectangular wrap. It's got shells in there.
I love that yarn. Very, very pretty.
I was gifted this yarn by Jeannie V a while back, and she's like, I just don't like the color. I'm like, it's gorgeous and it has sparkle and
it's beautiful. You know, I haven't seen her around in quite a while. Is she all right?
Last time I talked to her, she was getting over surgery.
Okay.
So.
Well, I hope she's doing well.
Yeah, I do have to check in with her, which we all know I am not the best at. So.
And I think in that aspect, that's definitely one thing that I am extremely horrible at, is remembering to reach out to people, because when I'm thinking about everybody, it's generally in the middle of the night, and then I'm like, but you know what? I probably shouldn't message them right now because I don't want to wake them up or disturb them or whatever. And then time goes and I forget to message, and then
it's exactly what happens with me. It's like, I should call them, and then, the phone's busy or it goes to voicemail, and then I forget the next day and blah, 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 blah.
Over here.
Deborah says her too.
Make it a mess.
Uh-oh. So what are you working on?
I finished dyeing all the yarn. And I've been working on the secret project, and I've been tackling this room. It doesn't really look like it yet, but I worked for hours in here last night.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Hi,
Well,
Crystal.
I was doing so good with the stash down, right? And like, I'm not mad about it at all. But somebody sent me Happy Mail, our lovely Miss Wanda, a couple times. So all the stash that I had gotten out of my stash, probably in the last year, is now back in my stash.
Is it more things you want to use, or is it more acrylic?
It's more acrylic, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I like doing stuff with
Right.
acrylic. My favorite projects, the ones that make my heart go, yay, is, the wearables, which unfortunately can't be acrylic.
Right.
I do enjoy working with it, like making the amigurumi. I love making them.
Mm-hmm. And your mosaic blankets, Graftans, they're good in acrylic.
Most definitely. Oh, Miss Crystal, welcome in, sweetheart. It's wonderful to see you.
Somebody said Zach, too. Is Zach here?
Yep, Zach is in the house. Welcome in, Zach. Oh, Miss Deborah says we got ads going on. That's kind of crazy. Just freaking started, but okay.
Yeah, I know.
I have it set on the most conservative thing possible.
I have done that, Liz. I was just talking to my older sister tonight, and I was like, and then I forgot what I was going to say. Like, as I was saying it, I was like, no, it's gone. It was gone.
Yeah, the fun of being a 40-something-year-old woman and going through the brain fog of menopause or perimenopause or any of that, evil stuff that we have to go through destroys our brains.
Yep.
Been there, Zach. Been there. I've done that more than once. Searched the house looking for my glasses and they're sitting on my nose.
Yep.
But worse off is I had an entire family of people looking at me and wouldn't say a thing. They just kept letting me look. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been kind of crazy around here. The Kane's back at work, so this weekend I was doing some stuff outside. I got part of what was the goat in the pig pen taken down. I had help. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I had help doing it. I was the director, the supervisor of the work site. Thankfully, because those things are heavy, we built the pen with pallets because, with having pigs, they can go right through a fence. They'll walk right through it like it's not even there.
Sarah wanted to see, she doesn't get to walk around the property much, and we were sitting outside enjoying the sun and everything today. And she's like, I want to go see what the neighbors had left behind. She never really got to look at it. And we're over in this one little area, and I counted 13 pallets rotting away. Just, and I'm like, what did they even think they were going to do? Hi, Lydia. Yeah. But I mean, what were they even going to do with 13 pallets? And now I'm like, that's going to cost us so much to take it to the dump. And then I went, but we have a burn pile. Oh, thank goodness for burn pile.
Right.
Because, I mean, if it was good wood, I would have done something with it. but it's literally rotting through because it's been out for 4 winters now.
Right. Just remember to run a real high powered magnet over that burn pile after it extinguishes to, you don't want to leave all those nails and whatnot. You don't want rusty nails going through anyone's feet.
Oh no, and the burn pile always is the burn pile. Like, we do it in the same area, so nobody walks. But yeah, definitely don't want. Let it burn, Liz. Yes.
I'm a big fire, so hey, go for it.
I love. Okay, I'm a little bit of a pyro. I don't light things on fire that aren't meant to be lit on fire, but I love fire. So,
same. We have. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! You go ahead.
We have one permanent fire pit on the property and 2 mobile, where we move them from spot to spot when we're clearing, because we just burn the limbs and whatnot, and then we use the rest of the tree, of course, to heat the house, unless it's pine, and then it gets cut up and gets put over by the permanent burn pit where we can have fun bonfires.
S'mores.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do that with the kids every summer. That's one of their favorite things. But I only let them have 1 graham cracker busted in half, because that's just a lot. That's a lot of sweets.
Oh, you're not the fun aunt. You're not the fun aunt.
I can't with all the sugar.
I thought you were going to say I limit them to 2 s'mores, and you're like, no, they get 1. They get 1
a day.
Oh,
as long as they behave themselves, they can have 1 a day. But
well, as long as there are multiple s'mores in there.
Yeah. I'm fun with them, but also want to teach them at the same time to have a healthy relationship with food, which is something that my sister and I did not grow up with. So it's something that we very much struggled with in our adult lives, And I want them to understand that you can always have another one tomorrow. You don't need to have it all right now,
Yeah, I've got like, when I buy something I want to eat, I've got a paranoia that everybody else is going to eat it because they have in the past. And they're like, well, mark it as yours. And I do mark it as mine, and my mom would eat it anyway. And then they're like, well, put it in your room. And I would put it in my room, and my mom, when I would be gone, would come into my room and take my food. So I do not have a healthy relationship with foods and snacks. And I'm like, my food's going away.
Yeah, Liz, they're going to come for a week in July as per usual. However, our schedule is kind of up in the air right now. And we know as of the first of the year, every single day the king has to work and what hours he has to work throughout the entire year.
Wow.
But he has officially put in for the maintenance position at work. So, when they accept that application, his hours are going to be changing because he's going to have to work on strictly day shift for a year while he's training in the maintenance. And then after that year's time, he'll go back to his swing shift. Hello, Miss Ellen. Welcome in. And Bear, Kiwi's Crochet is in the house, and it's good. Adrian.
Yeah. You got it. Yes, good luck to the king, and congrats on that.
And he is officially halfway through his schooling. So he's doing really, really well. I mean, he's done, a year's worth of schooling in 6 months. So I'm very, very proud of him. Welcome in, Miss Renee.
Hi, Renee.
So glad you guys have come in to join us tonight. I hope that you are all available on Thursday night at 6:30. We are going to be I'm going to be having a live yarn and bag sale. There is a discount coupon or a discount code available for 25% off, but I will tell you that code on Thursday. It will be good until Friday. So, in case you can't make it to the actual live and you would like a chance to get a little discount on a bag, you can always come and watch the replay, catch that code, and make an order via my website. I hope to see you all there. I have done up a bunch of yarn, and the discount code will not only work on pre-made bags, they will also work on any custom-made bag that you have ordered with in-stock fabric. So lots of fun stuff going on because this chair is killing me.
Oh no. Hi, Bonnie.
So sore.
Oh.
Welcome in, Miss Bonnie. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh. There's somebody who wants to say hi.
She's such a pretty girl.
She loved, oh my gosh, she found something in the grass and was rolling for a good 3 to 5 minutes, just rolling on her back and scritching around. And I was like, you're gonna stink. She doesn't stink, so it wasn't something smelly. She just found probably a warm part of the grass, and she was having a ball outside today. So yes, we hope she gets the perfect chair, Sally. Have you found one yet?
I did some looking around, and I found one I thought would work. It's a gamer chair. So it's got a leg rest. It's built like an office chair, but it's got a leg rest. It's got a back support. It's got a neck support, and it tilts back.
Oh.
So like I could, you know, which is really, really nice. The leg support is the really important part for me because of the swelling. It would be a really good thing for me to not have my legs dangling down all the time.
But with that leaning back, the king's going to come in and find you at like when he's getting up for work. He's going to be like, she never came to bed. And then he's going to come in and you'll be like, oh, zonked out in your chair.
Yeah, recliner on wheels. It's a reasonable price. It's like $120 before the shipping.
Yes, a massage chair. That's what she needs, is a massage chair.
Those ones, the ones that had the massager in them, were considerably more. They were upwards of $200 to $250 range. And
yeah,
as much as that sounds lovely, I'm just not comfortable spending that kind of money on me. Another goddamn.
Why did I know you would say that?
I just, I'm cheap like that. I don't like to spend a lot of money. I really don't. I would, but at the same time, I don't want to get the very cheapest thing, because I have learned generally if you get the very cheapest thing, you end up spending more money because you have to replace the thing well sooner than you were expecting to. So
feel better, Liz. I'm so sorry you've got a cold, honey.
And if I need a massage, the king he did get one of those power lift chairs when he was recovering from the second hip replacement. We ordered one, and it wasn't a very, very expensive one. It was like $350. It works. It's not one I would recommend anyone getting. Honestly, it's kind of rickety. But it worked. It served its purpose. It made it through his one hip replacement. But that being said, it has not only heat in the chair, but it also has full body massager.
See, I would be asleep in that thing every day. Every day, at least twice a day. I'd be like, I'm just going to crochet. Drool. Drool. And yes, she does need to treat herself well. She's getting there, though. I remember she wouldn't spend anything on herself before. It was all into the house, into the business, into the house, into the business. So she's learning. She's getting there.
Well, that sounds absolutely wonderful, Renee. She is teaching her 18-year-old granddaughter to crochet.
Oh, that's such a wonderful bonding experience.
It is.
Hi.
My grandma tried to teach me when I was little, but I was too tense. But by the time I started crocheting, her hands were she couldn't do it anymore. But we
Yeah.
still, I custom made her a little kitty, and I custom made the kitty a little dress, and I made the kitty the color of one of my grandma's cats. And
Aww.
she was over the moon with that thing. Every time I talked to her, she said, "Oh, my little kitty's sitting here talking to me all the time." And that was wonderful.
Hi, Cheryl. Welcome in. Yeah, see, the people who learn when they're like 5 and 7 and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I couldn't sit. No, I couldn't sit. I mean, my mom taught me to crochet to get me to sit still.
Right.
It's so I wasn't always bouncing off of walls and, and I took to it, but I was 10 and she couldn't really remember crochet because it wasn't a huge interest. I mean, she had made blankets before, chevron blankets, but by the time I came around, she was like, I don't really remember anything other than, slip stitch, single crochet, and double crochet. So,
Right. Grandma taught me a plastic canvas probably around the time I was 6 or 7. She would draw the pictures and we would, stitch them in. And I think probably at 7 or 8, she tried to teach me to crochet.
yeah.
And it wasn't like a hyperactivity thing. I literally was so used to people screaming at me if I couldn't do something right that I was so tense that my single crochets did tight spirals. Like you were not getting back in those stitches because I was such a nervous, intense child that it was just, no, that wasn't for me. But it stuck with me enough that when I got older, I was able to just, I got this.
Yeah. Welcome in, Demetra. And Bonnie, sitting there with your great aunt and her giving you beer if you were good.
I sat up on Grandpa's lap and got a drink of his beer, then would go over and give my uncle, one of my 3 uncles, a hug, and I'd get some of each one of their beers, and then I go over by Dad and I get some of his beer, and then it was time to make rounds to the aunts. Not to mention the sip of whiskey you would get sitting on Grandpa's lap.
No, I didn't have my first drink until I was 19. And I know that's still underage, and I'm not, saying let's all do this, but.
I was 3 years old when I got drunk the first time. They
and I bet your family laughed about it.
Oh, yeah, my family thinks that's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gotta stop and think though, like, okay, those old, like, the refrigerators they had back in the day where it was just one door and you had to pull the handle, like back if they thought there was a nuclear attack, you would get inside the thing because you could probably live, My grandfather had one of those refrigerators in his garage my entire life. And if you opened up that refrigerator, there was a half barrel in there. On top of that half barrel was a thing of whiskey and a thing of brandy. On the outside of the refrigerator was a tapper.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Huh.
built a tapper to the outside of the refrigerator so he could have his half barrel be cold all the time. And as soon as that one was empty, he'd go and get a new one. There was always one on tap at my grandfather's garage. Always. Like, but I grew up in Wisconsin. Okay. It's a very beer and cheese heavy state.
Welcome back, Terry. Yeah, I grew up in Amish country. And I say that, and people are like, "Are you Amish?" I'm like, "I'm holding a cell phone and car keys. No, I'm not Amish. Thank you. I'm also wearing pants. My hair is down." They're just like, "I've never seen it. Are you?" And I've had people online ask me that, and I'm like, "I'm online right now." I
No, you
mean,
could be former Amish. There are former
yeah,
Amish online.
my neighbor at my last house was former Amish, and they've come a long way because his family did not shun him. His mother and his sisters,
Right.
but it was a dry county because no car sales on Sunday, no liquor stores on Sunday,
We still
you
have
know.
blue laws in South Carolina, so
Yeah, and the thing is, we moved away and we went back to visit because my older sister still lives there, and now they've got the beer in the Turkey Hills, the gas stations, and so I'm
yeah.
like, yay. I don't know. Yeah, they drive right on the side of the freeway in their horse and buggies. You'll even see people bicycling on the side of the highway.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
And
grew up in a really large Amish and Mennonite community too.
but hi Dawn, how are you? But it was just like, and there are Amish up here, but I rarely see them. And I don't see buggies. I think they get car rides from drivers
Yeah.
most of the time if they're going somewhere. But yeah.
But I think though, because my parents and my grandparents, my whole family was so liberal with it, you could have it whenever you wanted it. Like I never went out and did the whole party thing with the friends and getting drunk. And I don't drink now. I might have a drink a couple times a year,
Right.
sometimes. And there's times I go many a years without having anything. It's just not something that, has ever been one of those, oh yeah, I gotta have a drink,
Right.
you know. But I also seen what can happen. Like my grandfather ended up with alcohol related dementia.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah. And he had gout really bad. And, he went through a lot. And my family has ripped itself apart, partly due to everyone's attitudes. And when they get to drinking, they get to fighting.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not. I mean, they say there's happy drunks and there's angry drunks. I've seen one person be both kinds of drunk. So it's like, oh, it's not a genetic thing. It's a disposition thing.
Same here, Bonnie. I am so glad the few times I got tore up, there was no cell phones around. There was no, it was pre everyone had a camera phone because girl did some dumb shit. I've only been drunk a handful of times, but I am a really, really happy, want to dance and have fun
I
kind
was
of.
gonna say, somewhere there is an old VHS of Bridget twerking before twerking was a thing.
Thank goodness, no. Because if they would have caught me, it would have been to the bagpipes because that was the worst one.
Oh my gosh.
I had friends that were Scottish, so they were downstairs playing the bagpipes, and I was upstairs dancing. Didn't do anything I shouldn't have done. You know, I was just dancing, having fun, but I'm sure it looked silly.
I had a friend that every time she got drunk, her shirt came off. Didn't matter where we were, didn't matter who was, because I'm guessing she was in such a state she didn't realize people were around. But she's like, I'm so hot. I'm hot. And I'm like, put it back on. No, back away, boys. Back. I literally had to do that one time. They were like, no, we're just helping. I'm like, no, you're not. Get away.
You're
Get
right.
away.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, Bonnie. It really
Yeah.
is. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of growing, though. We're supposed to go out and do dumb shit. You know, that's how we grow and learn. And as long as you didn't hurt anybody in the process, have fun. You know?
Yeah.
But I am so close to getting the secret project completely done and knocked out. I did find a couple of appliques that I'm going to add to it. Oh, I can't wait to get those done. I don't like this doing this secret project. Like, I want to talk to everybody about what it is I'm doing. I hate this secret project stuff.
Yeah, I know. Brenda's just like, I admit to nothing.
I mean, that's probably the best way to go.
I can neither confirm nor deny that anything ever went down.
There you go.
Oh, but speaking on partying, my shirt today says, hold on. It says, I don't always whoop, but when I do, there it is.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a secret project because I signed up to participate in the Decade Diva collaboration. And because of that, I have to have this project done, recorded, and uploaded prior to everybody's video starting to go live. So it needs to get done because in a couple months, you know, everybody's videos are going to start coming out. There's going to be a lot of them. Yep. And of course, you know, I didn't pick just one thing to do. I picked an entire ensemble to do. So it's taking a little while to get it all done. Unfortunately, it's taking more time than I was anticipating, but you know, I've got a lot of other things that need my attention. So I'm trying to get it knocked out of the way so that you guys can start seeing regular content again. I can hopefully start to get into some tutorials for you. I decided that I'm just going to keep doing them in the style that makes sense to me, such as I did my tank top tutorial, which is I'm not going to give you an exact stitch count because I don't know what size hook you want to use. I don't know what yarn you want to use, and I don't know exactly what size you are. Therefore, I'm going to tell you how I came up with, or the multiple that is needed to get the size that you're going to need for you, and we'll go from there. Hopefully everybody will understand that, and if they don't, you can always come to me and say, hey, can you help me figure out how to get to where I need to be, and I will do my best to do so. Yeah, the Decade Divas. This is my first year participating with them. the Spoonie Stitcher and one other channel. I always forget that channel. I'm really sorry about that, but I will try to link all that in the description after the live. Last year, I think they did several decades where they came up with projects that resembled things from that decade. So like, in the 70s, there was bell bottoms, there was wild colors, and then you also had the burnt oranges, the browns, that color
Mustard
combination.
yellow. Yeah.
The couch that all of us, our grandmother had that couch in her
We
house.
had that.
Our mother
That was
had
one of the crocheted Afghans my mom had, was one of those burnt orange, brown, and mustard yellow chevron blankets.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very 70s, So yeah, this year is only the 70s. So we have to pick out a project that represents the 70s to us, and then do a video based on that. I have picked out one pattern that I had previously shown, as I was going to make it for a Witchy Wednesday thing. And then something else that is entirely out of my head, although two of the things that I'm adding to the project are patterns that I'm doing because they're appliques.
Crystal said it's Critters Crochet.
Critters Crochet. There we go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Terry, just for you. Come here, Ziva. Ziva, come here. Come here. For Auntie Terry. Oh, she laid down again. I don't know if you can see her face.
A little bit. Well, here, we'll switch you around and pop her up solo. There.
Zivi, come here. Come here to Mama. Yes. We're going to squishy your face. Oh, squishy the face.
She's so cute.
Okay.
All right. So have you guys seen the sneak peek video, or would you like to see the yarn that I have dyed for the sale on Thursday?
Ooh. Yarn is pretty.
I was quite happy with the outcome this time. I spent the entire night. I got the yarn in the mail Friday afternoon. I spent all night Friday night until about 7 o'clock in the morning is when I hung up the last hank.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to bed for a couple hours. And then I got up and it was almost all dry. I flipped the rack around and finished drying. And have a good lunch, Miss Lisa. Enjoy your rest of your day, sweetheart.
Have a great day. Do you guys want to see the yarn or not? Just let her know. Let her know.
I guess that's a no. That's okay.
Dragon Cat wants to see it. I want to see it. Cheryl says, please.
Deborah says, we're waiting. Hold on. Another country heard from.
Do you hear the puppy? Do you hear the puppy?
So Coco today thought she was in trouble because I gave her canned food.
So instead of thinking it as a special treat, she thought something was wrong.
Yep. Yeah, so she started pouting. It was rather hilarious. And she refused to eat it. She actually pushed her plate underneath the wash machine.
Oh.
Because I wanted Khaleesi to have hers and the Coco to have hers, right? Because Khaleesi is a big mouth and she'll go gone. And Coco is much more of a dainty, I'm going to take my time. I want to enjoy every bite kind of dog. So I put on separate plates and separate areas of the kitchen, and I put Coco's down. I said, come on, Khaleesi. And I put Khaleesi's down. Well, Khaleesi was like, but Coco has something. And I'm like, no, okay, come on. And because I was telling Khaleesi, no, you need to come over here to your plate, then Coco thought she was in trouble, so she stopped eating.
At least you found the plate with the food on it, and you weren't just in 2 weeks going, what is that smell?
Right. Well,
Hi, Wanda.
This yarn here is going to be given away. It was purchased by Miss Wanda, Navy Mama. And she said to give it to one of the people that comes into the chat on Thursday. She's awesome. I absolutely love her.
Aww. Look at this. Oh, that is pretty. You can just send that to my house.
But it's purple. It's not blue. I hate this camera on here. There she is. We speak of an angel and she shows up in the room. But she contacted me. I sent her a little sneak peek video, or a little sneak peek picture, because she's very, very sweet and helps me with my Facebook and whatnot. And I appreciate that very much. And so I sent her a little sneak peek and she goes, ooh, dibs.
Dragon Pet says make yourself big and maybe they can see it better.
Okay, there we go. All right. So there we go. It's not blue, I swear. It's purple. My laptop camera is shite for colors.
It's very pretty no matter what color it is.
It's sock yarn, so it is fingering weight. It is 75% wool, 25% nylon.
Those would make beautiful socks.
Pink, purple, and blue with just a little tinge of white. I hate the ads. And this one I have named Playful Pansies. I'm actually going to get my nails done tomorrow. They are looking horrible. I actually took the time night before last and named all the yarns. I will make the bands before they go out. So they look all professional and nice. I just didn't want to do that while I was going to possibly have to open them up and, rehank them and all that. And I'll show you this one, but this one is Miss Wanda's. But it's gorgeous, so I have to show you. And this one I name Open Fields.
Greens.
I was having fun with the greens this time. I don't utilize green enough. Ooh, you go on that side. There we go. So we have quite a few different shades of green, and in some spots it's almost as dark as it's showing up, but not quite.
I like greens too, Wanda. We can be green buddies.
It is a very beautiful color. Oh, come on.
All right, Wanda. Have fun at work, I guess.
Okay. This one here, I really, oh gosh, I really debated on not showing it.
Keep it.
This one's called A Witch's Passion. It
Very
is
pretty.
teal, purples, pinks, and a tinge of white here and there, but not very much.
Very pretty.
Oh,
I could see you wearing a top made out of that.
Right. Unfortunately, I only have one hank of each color. Oh, bless it. I'll have to fix that bag. This one is hibiscus. So this one is really pretty bright oranges and a nice mild pink. But it goes really well with the orange. And it reminded me of the orange and pink hibiscus flowers. Hibiscus are one of my favorites, next to lilies. Well, kind of, sort of, yes and no. I haven't been able to find like decent quantity bottles of all the colors of yarn, or all the colors of yarn. Chihuahua. All the colors of dye that I like. So unfortunately, I have 1.5 billion little bitty tiny dropper bottles of color. So I'm not sure, like I could repeat the exact, you know what I mean? It would be really, really hard for me to repeat the exact the
But
recipe.
you could get close.
Yeah, I could get close, but it's not going to be a spot on. It would be a lot easier to do spot on if I used like the Dharma or the,
one that came in a bigger package.
Yeah. And if it came in a bigger package where I could actually measure it out and not go by drops, because I've tried doing I put 5 drops of this color and then I put like 3 drops of this color, because sometimes I do mix my own colors, especially for teal. I find that I enjoy the color teal better when I mix a green and a blue together and get the exact shade that I like, rather than going with a teal color. But I've tried doing like that exact recipe again, and it doesn't come out exactly because the drops aren't always, one drop might be a little bigger than the next drop. One next drop might have more air in it than it liquid, and so it can be kind of a pain. This one is Lady Dahlia, and it is
flowers.
Burgundy and pink.
Pretty. It's okay, Deborah. I'm sure she won't be out of it yet.
Yoga class. That sounds like fun. I used to go to the gym with the king all the time. We quite enjoyed doing that together. This one is earth and water. So 2 of our primal elements. So it is a really pretty bright blue. We got some darker greens. We have some lighter blues, a tinge of white here and there. I thought it was really pretty, very tie-dye. Oh, I hate the way this camera is picking up the colors. If you want a better, goodness gracious, what is up with those ads? Let me see this. I'm going to turn them off. This is ridiculous.
Do you get monetized if the ads are off?
No, but I'll turn them back on after the live goes to replay. There. You guys shouldn't get any more ads. I'm sorry about that, guys. It wouldn't bother me if I wasn't, yeah, I don't get ads either. I pay like $5 or $6 a month for the baby premium because I'm too cheap to pay for the $7.99 premium.
Right.
This one here I called curry. So we have some like burnt oranges and browns. These bags are a little fuzzy.
Pretty. That is pretty.
I thought I was channeling my inner Mel or Allie. I definitely channeled a good bit of Bella while I was dyeing these yarns. This one here I called Belladonna. And it is different shades of blue. It's not purple. Why does purple show up as blue and blue shows up as purple?
No idea. No idea.
Yeah, because that totally looks purple to me. It's a really pretty.
It looks like a nice blue to me. It looks like a nice, and I can see the tonality of it.
Yeah, on my end, it looks totally purple. Ugh. I'm using the bag that Bella sent me.
Oh.
It perfectly held all 20 hanks.
Nice.
Oh, this one's so pretty. This one I called Twilight. It is blues and grays, almost into a black. Yeah, I guess a very light black or a very dark gray.
Nice.
And I actually did get black in one of my hanks. I was like, yeah, go me. When you're dyeing with food color, getting black is next to impossible. So that was a feat.
When you're food coloring with food coloring, it's nearly impossible.
This one I called a leprechaun. And it is different shades of green.
Oh, that is nice.
This was another one. Miss Wanda was like, oh, look at that one. Oh. We're about halfway done. A little over halfway done, I guess. This one is Royal Delphinia.
You did do a lot of blues.
I was just
and they're all unique. They're all unique, but I bet they'd go well together.
Yeah, I think a lot of them would work very, very well together.
Mm-hmm.
I was using what I had, and I had a smoke ton of blue and green and whatnot. I didn't want to order a bunch more, because that kind of defeats the purpose of raising money, spending a bunch of money that you don't have.
Right.
This one I called Torch Lily. And there actually is a flower that is called a torch lily, and it is purple and orange.
That is so pretty.
I love this new technique that I've been dyeing with. I like doing this so much better than trying to do a single color yarn.
Yeah.
This to me looks so much nicer, and I've not had any issues with color pooling because of the way that I dye. So that
See,
means a
you
lot.
say issues with color pooling. A lot of people like try for color pooling, and you're like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, if the color pooling, like the pooling yarn that makes the like the
Yeah,
gingham type pattern, that's one thing. But what I mean by the color pooling is,
is making some sort of pattern. I remember, yeah, your
yeah,
thing
like
where,
all the pink is in one spot, all the black is in one spot instead of being a nice
variegated.
clear, yeah. It just
Yeah.
it looks a little bit nicer to me. It's my personal preference. I know some people that like that style very much.
Hmm.
This one I called Marigold, and it is bright oranges and yellow.
Very nice.
I have some marigolds outside my door, so my gladioluses are in bloom. The ones next to the house are, anyways. The ones out in the other flower bed are sending up their stalks. They just haven't bloomed yet.
Yeah.
I always
I
think that's
only got
grandma stopping in.
I only got my bulbs planted like a month ago, so I don't expect them to come up until maybe the fall or next year.
This
So,
one is Witch's Brew. And again, this was one like, do I want to show it?
so pretty.
This is purples and like a minty green plus a teal green. There's a little bit of pink, a little bit of white. Just loveliness.
Hmm.
Thank you, Miss Sally. We're getting there. This one here I called Dancing Fairies. This one is pink and different shades of blue and white.
Very pretty. I like the little patches of pink in there.
Oh, and in case you were not aware of it, I also have fiber and yarn boxes available for Halloween and for the winter holiday, as well as the Royal Celebration boxes. All are priced differently because they come with different things. If you're interested in those, they are available on the website. I even picked a couple different themes for the boxes this year, and I have some really fun ideas. So hopefully, those will go over well. This one I called Freedom. It is red, white, and blue. And since, 4th of July is next month, this would be a great pair of 4th of July socks or a shawl to wear out to the 4th of July festivities.
Yeah.
Oh. And this one I called Gothic Mermaid. And if if you've been around my channel for a while, you might know that that is a reference from my girlfriend Ray, because she is the Gothic Mermaid. And this one totally reminded me of her. We have some dark tones of green and we have purple. The only thing that would make it even more Ray would be to add some black and a hint of silver in there. But when this dried all the way, I was like, 100% that is Ray yarn. So I had to call it Gothic Mermaid.
It's definitely ray yarn. I am overheating. I'm overheating.
That new laptop burning you up?
No, actually, it's not. It's barely warm.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I got a gaming laptop. So
Okay.
that it would have the speed, and I streamed on it on Saturday, not to YouTube, but like I was on a call with somebody and I was using the laptop and I'm like, it can stream. I'm so excited.
This one is called Fairy's Garden. So we have white, blue, and green. And to me, it just looked like some, what you would
It
see
does.
if there was little dancing fairies out in the garden, pops of color
Mhm.
with beautiful green. We got 2 more left. And this one is Fire and Air. And it is reds, dark burnt orangey type color, and blue. So we had 2 hanks that had 2 different elements each. And last but not least, we have Black Cherry. Now this is the one that's saying we got black. So it's black and a very pretty paler pink.
That is pretty. That is really pretty.
I thought that turned out absolutely wonderful. I was happy girl.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
I'm back.
Yay! Mouse back.
Oh, hold on, sweetie. There you go.
If you guys didn't know why we're doing this or why I'm doing this for 2 different reasons. One is I need a new chair because mine's broke.
Yeah.
And I'm literally sitting on a plastic folding card table chair right now. Yeah, no support on the back, no support for the bum whatsoever.
You're gonna get that new chair with the lumbar support and everything like that, and your feet support. You're gonna be like, I'm never leaving. Hey King, bring me food.
Yeah, right.
Hey King, bring me tea.
But the other reason we are doing it is for the fur babies. I want to be able to, like when we're gone for the day, I don't want to lock them up in their room where they can't go outside and play in the yard if they want to. Or, if we go around gone for the day on the motorcycle, I don't want them to have to cross their little legs and hold it until we get home. And I also don't want them to have to be stuck outside in the brutal summer heat of South Carolina. The only way I can see to solve that issue, not having to deal with either one of those, is to install a doggy door or it'll probably be a cat door. Let's be real, because I have tiny dogs and they can go through a cat door. A human can't go through a cat door. But it's going to be a collar open and, collar unlock type of door, so only they can come in and out, and, wild critters can't just.
And all your porch kitties don't use it.
Yeah. And the
you
porch
come home,
kitties
they're having a party in the house, and You know.
Yeah, I don't need a bunch of feral kitties running around inside of my house and marking everywhere because they forgot how they got in. So that is the other thing that I want to do. And the king right now can't work overtime because he's also going to school full time. So if I want these things, I have to find a way to have the money for these things. So therefore, we're selling some yarn. Hopefully you guys will be able to stop by and get yourself a hank or two. If you can't, I completely understand. There's absolutely no, strong arm selling ever on my channel. You decide when you want to buy something from me. And if you decide you don't want to, no harm, no foul. I completely understand. And welcome in, Miss Debbie. It's wonderful to see you, sweetheart.
Hi, Debbie. Welcome in.
Miss Mel, I have to run away to the little girl's room real quick. I will be right back.
Okay. We will be here.
Ooh.
So, what is everybody working on right now? Are you working in your garden? Are you doing something summery and all that? Are you doing any make-alongs? Or are you just chilling because it's nice? Oh, you're still in Florida, Sally? I hope everything's going all right, sweetie. Dragon Cat's crocheting a dragon. Okay, that's on point.
I love crocheting dragons.
Cheryl, why? Why, Cheryl? Making a 7-foot circle blanket with one way yarn. You're a better person than me, Cheryl. That's all I'm going to say.
Yourself for something.
And Deborah's making a top. But, oh, that's so sweet, Kimberly. Kimberly's making a lovey, but I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And then Cheryl, I'm just like, why? Why?
I'm sure it's going to be absolutely beautiful, though.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure. I mean, that's all they used to use for like the tablecloths and, the crochet thread. Could you imagine making like a full long dining tablecloth out of crochet thread? Yeah. Hi, Maggie. How are you, sweetie? Because I be crazy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
The best kind of crazy, though, because I'm sure that blanket is going to be jaw-droppingly beautiful when you're done.
Oh, and it's going to become an heirloom piece and everything. So, my hair is so long now, I just got it caught under my arm. And I was like, why can't I move my head? It's because my hair is over my shoulder, and look at that.
And here, I'm sitting here, I need a haircut.
I got to get a trim. And I'm thinking of getting it colored. So.
Fun
colors. Not just like, oh, I'm going to go like, black or blonde or brunette. I'm, yeah. I'll let y'all know if I do it. Put up some pictures. So.
I have the stuff. I don't know. I just ain't feeling it this summer.
Mm-hmm. Don't you usually keep it blonde in the summer anyway? Or is that during the winter?
In the summertime, I go wild and crazy with all the fun colors, and I do the rainbow hair and stuff like that. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
wintertime, I'm more subdued. But I don't know, this year I don't know, I'm just not feeling it.
If you're not feeling it, don't do it.
Hello, Miss Jen. Welcome in, sweetheart.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Yeah, I was StreamYard sent me a thing the other day. It said, we're gonna delete such and such video that's been on here for over a year. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I did not know that my videos, my lives that we do like this, are not only saved on YouTube so they can be watched again, but they're actually saved directly to StreamYard. So I went through there the other day. I'm like, holy buckets, there's a lot of movie videos in here.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it did that. It's funny what you learn.
Doing good, Jen. Doing good. Just starting to wind down for the evening, and I got my whole garden planted. So I'm excited about that. And now I'm trying to clean up the area I want to put all my berry bushes in,
Yum, yum.
so that gets done this year.
Right.
But it is a lot of trash. A lot of trash. And it's now, the undergrowth has grown over, and I'm fighting to get them out of there. And it's going to take a little while.
Oh, I thought of another thing that I did this week that was the reason I didn't get much crocheting done. I made the king cinnamon rolls from scratch.
That's always fun. That's a fun thing to
Like
make.
3.5, 4 hours. But yeah, it was. I enjoyed it.
Well, any good bake takes at least an hour. Like even if you're making cookies, to mix it up and then do all your trays in the oven and everything. But how'd they turn out?
Oh, they were so good. They were way too good. But
you made the king cinnamon rolls, but you ate most of them.
Actually, no. I the only ones I ate is when you're shortening or you're evening up your initial roll. I ate the bits that I cut off. The rest of it I left for him. And because I only put and I made the cream cheese frosting and everything. So I only put just a very tiny drizzle of frosting on mine because just too sweet. And he generally likes, sickening sweet. Like, he drinks Southern sweet tea, But for breakfast, he has a limit to his sweetness tolerance. And as much as he absolutely loved them the night that I made them, and that for breakfast, they are too sweet for him.
So he had to keep waiting until he came home from work or it was dinner time, and then he'd have one.
Yeah. But they turned out absolutely amazing. It was a really good recipe, and I just did some Google searching. And well, that one's got really good reviews. I read through the ingredients. I'm like, all right, I agree with all those ingredients. Because, some of them got ingredients. They're like, you want me to put what in there? No, thank you.
I want you to put cardamom in your cinnamon rolls instead of cinnamon. And it's like, no, it's cinnamon rolls for a reason.
Yeah.
I agree with what you do, Jen. I do that most of the time too. I don't have the 3 or 4 hours to make them from scratch and let them rise and do all the stuff. So pop in the can of cinnamon rolls.
I enjoy baking. I really, really enjoy baking and making candies and cooking. If it's going to have someone floating around the house going, or laying back in their chair going, that right there is love to me. That is how I show you that you mean everything to me. I'm up in that kitchen cooking and baking, and you're complaining that your jeans don't fit no more. That's love.
It's because I love you this much.
Right. And when we're riding a motorcycle and I reach around the king and I grab his belly, and he'll say, "Hey, quit playing with my fat." And I tell him, "Hey, I put it there. So it's mine."
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's all my hard work right there. That's my cooking right there. So I mean, I should have every right to grab it whenever I want to.
They may demonetize if someone walks in on just that part of it. Oh,
I'm with you, Kimberly. If the magic kitchen fairy would come up behind me and do them dishes, I'd give her anything she wanted.
well, I finally figured out I've been baking since I was 8. And then I went to pastry school and all that stuff. But I finally figured out how to clean up as I'm going so that it's not like overflowing the sink at the end and everything.
Yeah,
And
I rinse everything out and fill the dishwasher as I go. Generally, the dishwasher's running before I've even got the stuff in the oven.
I am the dishwasher. We don't have a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher. Hand wash everything. So
Ew.
you're like, ew.
Ew. Like, ew. Like, no. I seriously would rather play, nursemaid to the animals than wash dishes. Ew.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, my dad's like, how did you wash those so fast? And then he notices the water all over around the sink because I'm like violently washing dishes real quick, and he's like, oh, you made a mess. That's how you washed them so quick. I'm like, yeah. Sure. Why are you gonna bake a lot while I'm there, Cheryl? And then I can clean it up for you. I'm not a cleany person. I don't want to be the cleaner. I just figured out it makes my life a lot easier to clean as I go while I'm baking. Yeah.
It does. But sometimes you get in that zone and you're doing all the things, and I really, really need a kitchen stand mixer though, because I don't have a dough hook on. I have a really cheap. It's an overhead mixer, but it's no different than a hand mixer, honestly.
I wish I had known. I had 2 KitchenAids a couple years ago, and I gave one to a friend, and she immediately gave it to her daughter-in-law. I'm like, well, if I knew you weren't going to use it, I would have found someone who would have used it. But,
Yeah. I'll get one eventually. Man, every time I look at the price, I'm so offended. Especially if you want the attachments and whatnot.
There are some good ones out there that you can get, and they're a stand tilt back mixer for as low as $80, and they're not bad. I've seen them on Amazon.
Yeah.
I got one for my niece, and it had
the attachment.
I'm not sure if it had the hole for that. I know KitchenAid does, and they're more expensive. It's the name, but they also stand up. I had my first KitchenAid for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was still running.
I just have to be patient. If I put something on the I want that, especially if it's I want that for my kitchen list, the king will come through and make sure that I get it. It's just, I have to be patient.
Yeah.
So.
Your mixer is your 2 hands, Deborah. So You wash your hands a lot then, right? If
Yeah.
you're sticking them in the dough. I'm just messing with you. I know what you mean.
Well, that's how I make my tortillas because I started making all of our tortillas from scratch. We
Hmm.
like them a lot better than store bought tortillas, and they don't have all the nasty preservatives that are just not good for you in them.
I like sugar. Sugar's a natural preservative. I like sugar. I know a lot, and everybody's like, you can have too much sugar. I'm like, yeah, I know. Look at me. I know I can have too much sugar.
Yummy.
Ooh. You know, my dad made homemade pizza one time. It was delicious. It was freaking delicious. And then he's like, I don't know how to cook. I'm like, yes, you made, he made lasagna from scratch. Now, it was with the store-bought noodles, but that's okay. And
Right.
he made a margarita pizza from scratch where he made the dough and everything.
And pizza dough is really not that hard. It takes a little bit of time. You mix the stuff together, you cover it up, you wait the time, you come back, you roll it out, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just the time. It's
Oh, gosh.
getting the timing down of everything.
I worked at two different pizza places in my youth, and we would make the dough the night before so that it would be, proofed and everything. And see, the nice thing about pizza dough is it will proof in the fridge.
Right.
It's not like a warm proof kind of thing. It so oh, that's you guys making cookies ahead, making pies ahead. Jeez.
Hey, you
I
gotta
made a
do
I made a
clean.
cake last weekend. Like not this
Mhm.
weekend, the weekend before, and I decorated it and it was from a wedding cake recipe, but I only made like enough to make 9-inch cakes instead of the whole wedding cake.
Right.
And some American buttercream, and then I decorated it, and I hadn't had my decorating stuff out in like years and years and years. And I it was a vanilla cake with a roasted strawberry cream cheese filling in the middle, and then the American buttercream on the outside. But what I did was, since it had the strawberry component, I made the cake a lemon cake. I added lemon juice and rind fresh from the lemons,
Mm-hmm.
and it my sister, who is like, I don't really like sweets, that kind of thing. She likes sour and tart and all that. She was like devouring the. She's like, oh, get away from me. But it was nice. It was nice. Dense. It was pretty dense. But I mean, I thought maybe that was because it was a wedding cake recipe and it had to hold the weight of all the other cakes.
I
Oh.
want some, Kimberly. I tried growing some rhubarb here, but it died. I have to try again. It didn't get enough sun where I put it.
Ooh, Dragon Cat made sourdough bread today.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, I like a good sourdough.
I love, Kimberly said she's making a strawberry rhubarb pie.
Hmm.
I absolutely love rhubarb upside down cake.
Oh.
My grandma used to make it. It's so good. It's
Oh.
sour and it's sweet and it's sour and it's sweet and there's no frosting, which is perfect for me because I'm not big on frosting. The rhubarb cake is probably my second favorite. My very first favorite cake, though, is pineapple upside down cake.
You like the upside down ones, don't you? Well,
Well, yeah,
they don't need icing because they've
yeah,
got like a caramelization and you know.
You got the fruit, and to me, fruit is plenty sweet enough without the excess, the sickening
Yeah.
sweet, the stuff that makes it feel like there's syrup pouring
Yeah,
down your throat.
it makes it feel like your throat's closing. I used to love, like, when we'd get cakes for whatever reason from the store, and that icing hit would get you in the back of the throat. I'd be like, oh yeah, good. Now it's like, I can't take it. I can't. Oh no, no, I can't take it anymore. They've either gotten worse or I've gotten to where I can't handle that much sugar all at once.
I think I don't know, at least for me, as the older I get, the less and less I like sweets. When I was young, because we weren't allowed to have them, of course, every time I would get sweets, it was like trying to hoard them. But then, I would learn, if I hide them somewhere, then I can have more sweets. I can have sweets for tomorrow and the next day or whatever. So I did learn to proportion it. But the older I've gotten, it's been like there's sweets in the house, and I'm like, But
Yeah.
then this perimenopause BS hits, and you're like, I need something to eat. I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. There is no grumbly
No.
tummy going on, but I'm sitting here at night going, oh, I could go for some chips. Man, I'd love some ice cream right now. Some rhubarb or some fruit sounds good. Maybe there's some, vegetables in the fridge. I really just, like, constantly the thought of food is running through my stinking head, and I've never been that way. So it's driving me nuts.
I've been that way since I was 12. I
Yeah.
started emotionally eating when I was 12, and it never ended.
I do the
Kimberly,
opposite.
I
When I'm
hope your
emotional, I
granddaughter.
eat.
Oh, what's that?
Well, see, I'm the opposite. When I'm really emotional, I can't eat. Like, I physically
Mhm.
can't eat because if I even try, mm, it's not pretty.
Well, see, most of what happens when I emotionally eat is I don't know why, but I eat to punish myself, and I eat until I feel sick. And so I don't do that anymore, thank God. But that's oh. Kimberly, I hope your granddaughter enjoys helping you, honey, and your kids enjoy the pie.
Oh, lemon meringue pie is my favorite pie of all times.
You add some of the filling to the meringue, and it makes a difference. Hmm.
Meringue is so yummy.
I was never really one for meringue. I enjoyed a whipped cream better than a meringue, So,
Because,
but
I mean, it's a little bit of sweetness, but it's not,
well, yeah, because all
you
it
know,
is egg whites and a little bit of sugar, maybe some vanilla, maybe, and you
too
just
much harder.
whip it all up. It's a lot of air.
Yeah.
I remember in pastry school when we actually made baked meringues, like little meringue drops, and baked them, and then you got to see. And I will tell you something: meringue is just like Pop Rocks when you mix it with soda. Like baked
Hmm.
meringue, the hard where it's got a shell and everything, because the teacher was like, "So this is what happens," and we're like, okay. And I volunteered to try it out. So I'm standing over one of those huge trash cans, and I put the meringue in my mouth, and then I put this, and it just, whew, it was like a fountain, a Mel fountain that it was not pretty, but but it was fun.
Well, thank you for coming in, Dragon Cat. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you on Thursday, even if all you can do is stop in and say hello.
Bye, Dragon Cat, honey. Have a good night.
Ooh, apple pie is one of my favorites to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made one. on a live like months and months and months ago, and everybody's like, show us pictures of the finished pie, show us I never put those pictures up. It just dawned on me. I never showed.
Oops.
Oops. Oops. Oh, more tea.
Yes. Tea, the stuff of life, since I don't have coffee.
You
Yeah,
mean
we're
you
coming
make
up on a year since I've had a cup of coffee.
already?
Yeah, July will be a year. Because I was crazy enough to quit coffee right before my nieces and nephew came for their vacation.
Wow.
I don't know what I was thinking either.
I'm glad you found some noodles for your granddaughter, Renee. It's hard when you've got like allergies or intolerances or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, food allergies are the worst.
My sister's allergic to apples and hazelnuts, but she's never had hazelnut that we know of. So it was the test said she would probably have a bad and gold and I mean usually that's hypoallergenic, but not for
Right.
her. So what are you doing?
Yeah, most of my allergies, thankfully, are skin allergies. So, I mean, they're irritating, but not life threatening.
Just don't eat them.
Right.
Whatever they are, just don't eat them.
Sensor dies.
I seem to, I mean, I have a lot of bad gastro stuff, so I may actually have some intolerances or allergies that I don't know about because I get bad stomach and everything from a lot of foods. But the only one I am pretty dang sure of is I'm allergic to spice. I love spice. I love flavors. I love a little bit of heat, but the capsaicin in the peppers and everything, because I also tried a capsaicin muscle rub one time and my skin was burning. And then I tried to wash it off and it burnt even more. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's great.
That's what happens to me when I tried that salon pause stuff.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
skin instantly started on fire, and I broke out so bad it was not good.
Yeah. I just I know anything that says like icy hot or capsaicin or I cannot use. But oh, what is it? There's one I can use because they don't put any of that in there. So
I made some tinga this last week. I used two whole jalapenos in that, and both the can and a half a can of chipotle peppers and adobe sauce. And both the king and I were like, man, it doesn't even taste like there's any peppers in this at all. Two whole jalapenos, big jalapenos. So then the next day, or a couple days later, I made us some pollo con crema. And this time I made it with onions and bell pepper. And I always put French cut green beans in my rice while it's cooking. It makes the rice turn out perfect every single time. And it's not too sticky.
interesting.
And yeah. And I also put a little tab of butter in the bottom of my rice pan, and I kind of I heat the pan up first with the butter, let it melt, and stir my rice around prior to putting my water in. And it makes my rice perfect every single time. But then
Nice.
I also put another 2 huge jalapenos in. And again, we were both like, so I had to do some research so we could find the next hottest pepper because this is just ridiculous.
I went to a greenhouse because my starter seeds were all failing. Like they either weren't coming up or they were dying once they got to a certain size. So I went to a greenhouse this weekend and I got tomato and pepper plants. And I was like, mild. Doesn't it says sweet or mild for the peppers. But, you know, they had ghost pepper plants. And I was like, I want to play with it, but it'll kill me. I want to play with it, but it'll kill me. But,
See, ghost peppers aren't even close to being the hottest anymore.
oh, I know. But they have these chili cook-offs where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for charity and everything. And I went to one year and they had peppers in the chili that were grown next to ghost peppers. So they didn't have the heat, but they had the flavor of ghost peppers. And I was like, oh my God, that tastes delicious. You know, it was magically delicious. But no copyright on that. but yeah.
Well, the next hottest pepper is a quite a good jump on the Scoville scale. But since I use habanero hot sauce when I fry my chicken, that I think I'm just going to go up to habaneros because I like them.
Oh, I can send you. Okay, so my bio dad died in November, and I had his Christmas present already done up. It was just a whole lot of hot sauces. Because he was a lifelong smoker and drinker, and you know his taste buds were gone. so he always put hot sauce on everything, and I was like, I'm gonna get him like a variety pack, but I've got like 10. I mean, some of them are little bottles,
Right.
but 10 bottles of I'm gonna end up sending them to you then,
Okay.
if you want.
Sure. I love hot sauce.
Yeah, and I can't. Nobody in my house can use it. My stepdad, my sister, and I are all weaklings on the spice scale. I mean, I used to be fed Indian food as a child because my sister's best friend was from there, and her mom, and she would take me over there when she was watching me.
Right.
And disappear with her friend, and I'd be left with her mom. And what did her mom do? Her mom fed me. But now I'm like, I will never know what the taste is because I can't remember from my childhood, but you know, I love the smell. Oh my God.
Oh no, I grew up. My mom is about half Italian, and my grandmother was an extremely good cook. My father's family comes from the Ishes. We're all Ishes over there. You know, Irish, Scottish, Polish, and some Lithuanian.
That's not an ish. Lithuania-ish.
Right? But my mom's side were Native American and Italian. So I grew up eating all kinds of different foods, you know, and all the flavors. And not to mention, my father was an army cook. So my father can cook, my mother can cook, my grandmother was an amazing cook. So we tried all of it. And I pretty much like all of it. I like having the variety. Yeah, I mean, well, it's easier to say the issues than to try to explain that I'm got a little bit of heritage from all of them. And I mean, my maiden last name ends with ski. So if that doesn't say ish, nothing will.
I never tried Chinese food until I was 20.
That's crazy.
I know. I was like, I know what I like. I only like these things. And I went to Japan when I was 18. So I went to Japan, didn't eat any of the, I wanted to eat the food. I would have eaten the food then. I wanted to eat the food, but my sister and her husband only took me to KFC and McDonald's. And
That's so sad.
I know. Now I'm like, I would go there, I would try things, maybe not so much sushi. I have tried some sushi, but it's not the kind with the raw fish in it.
Yeah, I'm not
It's,
down with the raw fish.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. Oh.
Yeah, I like trying just about everything. Now, that being said, if I go to like a restaurant, I will not order something that I don't know that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if my sister and I were sitting at a restaurant and she ordered something that I've never tried before and I could try it, then I will order it next time. I'll try anything, but I'm not going to spend my money on anything that I don't know that I like because I am extremely finicky.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't going to waste my money like that. Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you opened up and tried some new stuff and got to do some traveling, Renee. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And Deborah's like, give me the fish. She wants this. You eat all the sushi, Deborah, and we'll enjoy all the other stuff.
See, I am so picky. The only fish that I am going to eat is a fish that I caught. Like, I don't know what they do to it, but if you give me store-bought fish, guaranteed I'm going to get physically sick from it. But if I go to the lake and I catch a fish and I clean the fish and I cook the fish up, it doesn't bother me. I have no reaction to it. I don't know if they put something on the fish prior to the freezing process or what they do, but there's something on the fish that my body does not like, and it reacts to it instantly.
I have that reaction, but mine is to popcorn. I can't have movie theater popcorn or the bags, the microwave bags. I guess it's the oil they use to pop it in.
Probably all the preservatives too.
But if I pop my own on the stove from kernels and I choose what oil I'm going to use, then I'm okay. But whatever they put in the microwave bags and at the movie theater, and it's so sad because it smells so good.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, I can have 3 pieces and that's my limit, or I'm going to be ill. So,
thank you very much for your service, Miss Renee.
I thought it was once a Marine, always a Marine, Renee. Not I was a Marine. Once a Marine, oh, hoorah. Sorry, my sister's ex-husband and then my nephew's dad, both Marines. So,
My father was Army. That's how we came to live in Germany.
my dad and my mom, my bio dad and my mom were Navy. And then my mom's family is all Navy. And my grandma and my bio dad's dad were both Army. And I didn't know until much later that she served in World War II. And I was like, you go, Grandma. You know?
Yeah. I had an uncle that served in Vietnam. I now have a Vietnamese auntie and 2 Vietnamese cousins.
Oh, is he living over there or did they
No,
come over here?
they came over here. Auntie Kiko was here with him.
Yeah, my grandma, my mom's mom, is from England, and she met a serviceman during the war, and he thought she was 20 and she was 16. And then they corresponded for a few more years, and then he had her come over to the States, and they got married, and she was legal by then, and which it was probably legal at that age in
Yeah, back then
England.
it was legal.
Yeah, back then. But
Back then, I think it was 13.
she brought over all 7 of her siblings and her parents then. So,
Wow.
but yeah.
That was definitely a whole family affair.
Yeah. And then my one great uncle was like, nope, too much family over here. So he went and lived in Spain and met a woman, and they were happily married their entire lives. And it's just, a love story when someone travels and then is like, you're my person.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
my nephew just graduated, and he's thinking of joining the Marine or the reserves for the Marines, I believe, so that, to help with college and that kind of thing. But
It's a
he
good path
wanted
for a young man to go.
he wanted to join the Marines outright, but he has developed anxiety problems, and I'm worried that, they're a little tougher in the Marines. They're a little more, and it might
Yeah.
not be the right fit, whereas the reserves might be a little easier for him.
You never know though. That toughness might be exactly what he needs. So you know. For
Well,
one person that is
his dad's been giving it to him his entire life. So I'm not sure, but yeah,
yeah,
he's
but it's a little
a real.
different coming from a CEO rather than that. You know.
I'm sure, and he's just such. I've always called him the most empathetic kid I have ever met. He's just so sweet and cares about everybody, and I'm not sure how that would translate, but this could be just me worrying about him and everything. It's
Yeah,
all going to end
I'll
up.
talk to your auntie, but I'm sure it'll work out no matter what he decides.
It will. It will. It'll work out, and it'll all be good. I am starting to fade.
Okay.
So if you would like to stay on, you can just
Oh
shoo me
no,
to the back.
I'm gonna head on out with you because that way I can get some more cleaning done in here, and I'll actually have space to set things for the live on Thursday because I need to bring all my bags in here because I know they're on the website and people can just go on the website and look, but maybe they missed them when they were looking. So I'm going to bring the bags in and show those off as well. So if you guys are interested in a bag or you're interested in some yarn, show up on Thursday and hopefully you'll get the one that you're looking for. Until next time, I
Oh,
truly hope
beautiful.
that all of you are crafting your happiness.
Shine bright, everyone.